5 years of marriage. 5 years of what I thought was mutual satisfaction, mutual respect, mutual love. That illusion shattered in 30 seconds last Wednesday evening when I walked into my own house and heard my wife's voice drifting from the kitchen. She was on the phone with her sister, laughing in that carefree way she used to laugh with me. I was about to announce I was home when her words stopped me cold. "Oh please, you think I actually enjoyed it all these years? I've been faking it for 5 years straight." The poor guy has no clue. Sometimes I just lay there thinking about my grocery list. Her sister's laughter echoed through the speaker. My blood turned to ice. "But doesn't he notice?" her sister asked. "Notice what? Men are so easy to fool. A few moans here and there. Tell him he's amazing, stroke his ego. They eat it up every time. Honestly, it's almost pathetic how desperate they are for validation." The grocery bags in my hands suddenly felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds. 5 years. 5 years of lies. 5 years of her looking me in the eye afterward, telling me how good it was, how much she loved me. I stood there in my own hallway, feeling like a complete fool. But as the initial shock wore off, something else took its place. Something cold and calculating. "The best part," she continued, "is that he thinks he's this amazing lover. Should I tell him the truth? Nah, why ruin his delusion? It's easier this way." That's when I made my decision. If she wanted to play games, if she wanted to fake her way through our marriage, then I could play too. But I wouldn't be the fool anymore. I quietly set the groceries down and walked back outside, making sure to slam the door when I came in again. "Honey, I'm home," I called out, my voice perfectly normal. She appeared in the doorway, smiling that same smile she'd given me for 5 years. The same fake smile, I now realized. "Hey baby, how was your day?" "Great," I said, looking directly into her eyes. "Just great." That night, as she lay next to me pretending to sleep, I stared at the ceiling and planned. She thought she was so clever, so superior. She thought I was pathetic and desperate. Well, she was about to learn what desperate really looked like. But first, I needed to understand exactly what I was dealing with. Over the next few days, I started paying attention to things I'd previously ignored. The way she rolled her eyes when I told stories. How she checked her phone constantly when we watched movies together. The subtle sighs when I tried to be affectionate. It was all there. I'd just been too trusting, too in love to see it. Friday evening, she suggested we go out for dinner. "That new Italian place downtown," she said. "My treat." I agreed, watching her carefully as she got ready. She put on makeup, did her hair, chose a dress that looked stunning on her. All for me. Or was this just another performance? At dinner, she was animated, chatty, asking about my day, laughing at my jokes. The perfect wife act. But now I could see the cracks. The way her smile never quite reached her eyes. How she glanced around the restaurant like she was looking for someone more interesting. "You seem different lately," she said, cutting into her pasta. "Everything okay?" I took a slow sip of wine, studying her face. Different how? I don't know. Quieter, I guess. More distant. The irony wasn't lost on me. Here was a woman who'd been emotionally distant for 5 years, worried that I was becoming distant after 4 days of knowing the truth. "Just thinking about things," I said. "About us. About where we're going." She reached across the table, took my hand. "We're good, right? I mean, we're happy." Looking into her eyes, I saw something I'd never noticed before. Fear. Not love. Not concern, fear. Like she was afraid of losing something valuable. But what? My paycheck? The comfortable life I provided? The security of having someone who adored her? "We're perfect," I said, squeezing her hand. "Absolutely perfect." She smiled, relieved. But I wasn't talking about our marriage. I was talking about the game we were about to play. Because if she could fake being a loving wife for 5 years, I could certainly fake being a devoted husband for however long it took to plan my next move. That night, as she performed her usual charade in bed, I performed mine too. But this time, I was the one studying her face, cataloging every fake expression, every manufactured sound. Taking notes for later. When she rolled over afterward, breathing hard from her Oscar-worthy performance, she whispered, "That was incredible." "It really was," I replied, staring at the ceiling. "Absolutely incredible." And for the first time in 5 years, I wasn't lying. The weekend gave me time to think. Really think. While she slept in Saturday morning, I sat in the kitchen with my coffee, mapping out my strategy. If she could live a double life for 5 years, I could certainly manage a few weeks. But I wasn't going to be reckless. This needed to be calculated, methodical. I started making a list of everything I'd overlooked, every red flag I'd ignored because I was too busy being the perfect husband. The way she always had her phone face down. How she'd gotten secretive about her girls' nights out. The sudden interest in new clothes, new makeup, new everything. Her complete lack of interest in anything I enjoyed. How she'd stopped asking about my day and really listening to the answer. Monday morning, I implemented phase one of my plan. Instead of my usual goodbye kiss and have a great day, I simply said, "See you tonight," and walked out. No kiss, no hug, no emotional investment. She called after me. "That's it? No goodbye." Turned back, gave her a casual wave. "Goodbye." At work, I did something I hadn't done in years. I actually stayed late. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. When she texted asking where I was, I replied hours later with a simple "working." When I got home at 9, she was waiting. You didn't answer my texts. I was busy, I said, grabbing a beer from the fridge. What's for dinner? I didn't make anything. I thought you'd be home earlier. No problem. I'll order something. I could see the confusion in her eyes. This wasn't the husband she knew. The one who always called if he was running late. Who always made sure she wasn't worried. Who always put her needs first. Tuesday, I took it up a notch. I started going to the gym after work. Not the gym we had joined together, where she'd inevitably show up to check on me. A different one across town. When she asked about it, I shrugged. Needed a change of scenery. But we have a membership at the other place. I'll keep both for now. The beauty of my plan was its simplicity. I wasn't lying exactly. I was just selective with information. The same way she'd been selective with her honesty about our intimate life. Wednesday evening, I came home to find her cooking dinner. Actually cooking, not just heating up leftovers. She was wearing a dress I bought her last Christmas, one she'd never worn before. Special occasion? I asked. Can't a wife cook for her husband? She said, but there was something nervous in her voice. During dinner, she was unusually attentive, asking about my day, laughing at my jokes, touching my arm when she talked. It was like watching someone audition for a role they'd already been cast in. You've been different lately, she said, cutting her steak with precise movements. Distant, have I? I kept my tone neutral, uninterested. Yes, and I'm worried about us. About our communication. I almost laughed. Our communication. 5 years of fake orgasms, and she was worried about communication. What about it? I asked. We don't talk like we used to. You don't share things with me anymore. What would you like me to share? The question caught her off guard. She blinked, clearly not expecting me to turn it back on her. I don't know. Everything. Your thoughts, your feelings. Like before. Before when? Before you started acting like this. I set down my fork and looked at her directly. Acting like what? Like you don't care. The words hung in the air between us. I could have taken the bait, reassured her, gone back to being the devoted husband. But that man had died last Wednesday in the hallway. I care, I said finally. I care about a lot of things. Like what? Like honesty. Care about honesty a lot. She shifted uncomfortably. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing specific. Just that honesty is important in a marriage. Don't you think? Of course. Good. I'm glad we agree on that. That night, she tried extra hard to please me. But now I could see every calculated move, every manufactured response. It was like watching a bad actress in a community theater production. Afterward, as she lay against my chest, she whispered, I love you. I know, I replied. She lifted her head. That's it. You know, what do you want me to say? That you love me too. I looked at her for a long moment. I love the woman I married. The question is whether she still exists. She sat up, pulling the sheet around her. What's that supposed to mean? It means people change. Sometimes they become someone completely different from who they were when you married them. I haven't changed, haven't you? The doubt in her eyes was unmistakable. She was starting to question herself, starting to wonder if I knew something. Good, let her wonder. Thursday, I implemented phase 2. I started making plans that didn't include her. Not big things, just small changes that sent a message. I booked a weekend fishing trip with the guys. I signed up for a photography class on Saturday mornings. I bought concert tickets for a band I liked, just one ticket. When she asked about the ticket, I said, I didn't think you'd be interested. You didn't ask. Would you have said yes? She paused, and in that pause, we both knew the answer. She wouldn't have. She never said yes to anything I enjoyed anymore. That's not the point, she said finally. Isn't it? By Friday, she was getting desperate. She suggested we go away for the weekend, just the two of us. Like a second honeymoon, she said. Can't. I have that fishing trip, remember? Cancel it. Why would I do that? Because your wife is asking you to. I looked at her, really looked at her. My wife asked me to do a lot of things. Lately, I've been wondering if she ever considers what I might want. Of course I do. Do you? When's the last time you asked me what I wanted? Really ask, and then listen to the answer? The silence stretched between us. We both knew she couldn't answer that question. I'm going fishing, I said. You're welcome to make your own plans. That night, she cried. Real tears, not the fake ones I'd seen before. But I didn't comfort her. I didn't ask what was wrong. I just said goodnight and went to sleep. Because if she could fake 5 years of marriage, I could certainly manage a few weeks of being the husband she deserved. The one who'd finally learned to play the game. The fishing trip was exactly what I needed. 3 days away from the house, away from her performance, away from the charade we'd been living. But more importantly, it gave me time to refine my strategy. I came back Sunday evening refreshed and clear-headed. She was waiting in the living room, dressed up like she was going somewhere special, or like she was trying to seduce someone who was no longer interested in being seduced. How was your trip? She asked, standing up to hug me. I set my gear down and accepted the hug, but didn't return it with any enthusiasm. Good. Relaxing. I missed you. Did you? The question hung in the air. She pulled back, studying my face. Of course I did. You're my husband, right? Your husband. I grabbed my bag and headed upstairs. I'm going to shower. I made dinner reservations, she called after me. That steakhouse you like. Cancel them. I'm tired, but I thought we could talk. About us. I paused at the top of the stairs. What about us? About whatever's going on with you. With us. Nothing's going on. I'm just being honest now. That week, I escalated things. I started doing things I'd never done before. Tuesday night, instead of coming straight home, I went to a sports bar. Not to meet anyone, just to prove a point. When she texted asking where I was, I sent a photo of my beer and the game on TV. She called immediately. What are you doing? Watching the game. Having a beer. Why didn't you come home first? Why should I? Because that's what married people do. Is it? Since when do you care about what married people do? The line went quiet. She was starting to understand that something fundamental had shifted. Wednesday, I did something that really got her attention. I went to my photography class, but afterward, I stayed out until midnight. I drove around, went to a late-night diner, sat in a park. Nothing scandalous, but I made sure to turn off my phone. When I got home, she was waiting in the kitchen, still in her pajamas, eyes red from crying. Where were you? I called 50 times. My phone died. 4 hours. I was busy. Doing what? Living my life. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done being the husband who reports his every move to his wife. I'm done being the man who asks permission to exist. I never asked you to ask permission, didn't you? Every time you questioned where I was, what I was doing, who I was with. Every time you made me feel guilty for having interests you didn't share. That's not. I was just being interested in your life. Were you? Or were you just making sure I stayed in my lane? Thursday night, I implemented a nuclear option. I told her I was going out with friends from work. But instead of going to the usual places, I went to a wine bar downtown. A place where young professionals hung out, where I could blend in as just another guy having a drink. I sat at the bar, ordered a whiskey, and watched the crowd. Within an hour, I'd had 3 separate conversations with different women. Nothing inappropriate, just casual chat about work, life, the weather. But I made sure to laugh, to smile, to look like I was having the time of my life. When I got home at 11, she was waiting, but this time, she wasn't crying. She was angry. Who were you with? Friends from work. Which friends? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. You're my husband, and you're my wife. Supposedly. The word supposedly hit her like a physical blow. She stepped back, her hand going to her throat. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm starting to wonder what being married actually means to you. It means everything to me, does it? Because for the past 5 years, it's felt like I've been married to a stranger. She was crying now, real tears. I don't understand what's happening to us. Don't you? Maybe you should think about it. Friday, she tried a different approach. Instead of confronting me, she tried to seduce me. She cooked an elaborate dinner, lit candles, wore lingerie under her robe. When I got home, she was waiting with wine and that sultry smile she used to use when we were dating. I thought we could have a romantic evening, she said, pressing herself against me. Did you? Yes, like old times. Which old times? The ones where you were pretending to enjoy yourself. She froze. What? Nothing. I'm just tired. But she wasn't letting it go. No, what did you mean by that? I meant exactly what I said. Are you saying I pretend to enjoy being with you? I looked at her for a long moment. I'm saying I think we should be honest with each other. About what? About everything. About what we really want. About what we're really feeling. About whether this marriage is working for either of us. She sank into a chair, the seduction forgotten. You want a divorce. I want honesty. But if honesty leads to divorce, then maybe that's what we need. Why are you doing this? Because I'm tired of pretending. Aren't you tired of pretending? The question caught her off guard. She opened her mouth to deny it, but no words came out. Because we both knew the truth. I don't know what you mean, she said finally. Sure you do. Saturday morning, I implemented my final test. I told her I was going to spend the day alone, that I needed space to think. But instead of leaving, I parked down the street and waited. Within 2 hours, she was on the phone with her sister. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I could see her pacing, gesturing wildly. Then she got in her car and drove to her sister's house. I followed at a distance, not to spy, but to confirm what I already knew. She was falling apart, and she was looking for allies, for people who would tell her she was right and I was wrong. When she came home that evening, she was different, harder, like she'd been coached. We need to talk, she said. About what? About your behavior. About how you've been treating me. How have I been treating you? Like you don't love me anymore. And that bothers you. Of course it bothers me. I'm your wife, right? You keep saying that. But what does it mean to you? It means we're supposed to be partners. It means we're supposed to support each other. Have you been supporting me? Yes. Have you? Or have you been going through the motions? She was getting frustrated now. I don't know what you want from me. I want you to be honest. I'm being honest. Are you? Because I feel like I've been living with a stranger for years. That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you told me something real? Something that mattered to you? When's the last time you asked me how I was feeling and actually listened to the answer? The silence stretched between us. She couldn't answer because she knew I was right. I think, I said finally, that we both need to decide what we really want, and whether what we want includes each other. That night, she didn't try to seduce me. She didn't try to talk. She just lay on her side of the bed, staring at the wall, probably wondering how her perfectly controlled husband had slipped out of her grasp. But I wasn't slipping. I was walking away with purpose, with dignity, with the knowledge that I'd finally learned to play the game she'd been playing all along. Monday arrived with a storm brewing. She'd spent the weekend strategizing, probably calling every friend and family member who would listen to her version of events. I could see it in her eyes when I came downstairs for coffee. She was ready for war. "We're going to counseling," she announced. "Are we?" "Yes. I made an appointment for Thursday." "Cancel it." "Excuse me." I said cancel it. "I'm not interested in counseling." "Why not? If you love this marriage, you want to fight for it." I poured my coffee slowly, deliberately. Who says I love this marriage? The color drained from her face. "What did you just say?" "You heard me. I love the woman I married, but I'm not sure she exists anymore." "That's ridiculous. I'm the same person I've always been." "Are you?" "Because the woman I married was honest. She was genuine. She didn't fake her way through our relationship." Her hand trembled as she reached for her coffee. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Sure you do. That evening, she tried to catch me off guard. She showed up at the gym where I'd been working out, walking in like she owned the place. I was in the middle of my workout when I saw her scanning the room, looking for me. When she spotted me, she walked over with that fake smile plastered on her face. "Surprise. Thought I'd join you. You don't have a membership here." "I got a day pass. Figured it was time I saw what was keeping you so busy." She was fishing for information, trying to see if there was another woman, trying to catch me in some kind of lie. The irony was almost amusing. "Nothing's keeping me busy. I'm just working out." "With anyone in particular?" "Just myself." She looked around the gym, sizing up every woman there. "It's a nice place. Very social." "Is it? Lots of attractive people here." I hadn't noticed. "Really? Because that woman by the weights has been staring at you since I walked in." I glanced over casually. There was a woman near the free weights, but she wasn't looking at me. She was focused on her routine. But my wife saw threats everywhere now. "She's just working out," I said. "And is that what you call it? What are you suggesting?" "I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just observing. Observe all you want. But you might want to actually work out while you're here. Otherwise, you're just wasting money on that day pass." Her face flushed red. She wasn't used to being dismissed so casually. For 5 years, I would have dropped everything to reassure her, to make her feel secure. Now, she could deal with her own insecurities. Tuesday night, she escalated. She went through my phone while I was in the shower. When I came out, she was sitting on the bed, holding it. "Interesting reading?" I asked, toweling off my hair. "Who's Jessica?" I looked at her calmly. "Which Jessica?" "The one who texted you about meeting up." I thought for a moment. "Oh, that Jessica. She's from my photography class. We're working on a project together." "What kind of project?" "Photography. That's what people do in photography class." "Why didn't you mention her before?" "Why would I? Do you mention every person you interact with during your day?" "That's different." "How?" Because I'm not getting texts from men about meeting up." "Aren't you? Should I check your phone?" The blood drained from her face. "That's not the point, isn't it? You seem to think I should report every interaction I have with another human being. Maybe we should apply that standard both ways. I have nothing to hide. Neither do I. Jessica is 62, married, and has 3 grandchildren. We're photographing architecture downtown. Very scandalous stuff." She set the phone down, deflated. I feel like I don't know you anymore." "Maybe you never did." Wednesday, she tried a different approach. Instead of accusations and surveillance, she went for vulnerability. When I got home, she was cooking dinner, wearing the apron I bought her for our 2nd anniversary. "I've been thinking about what you said," she began as I grabbed a beer from the fridge. "Which part?" "About honesty. About being genuine." "Have you?" "Yes. And I realize I haven't been the best wife lately." I leaned against the counter, watching her stir something on the stove. "Lately, I know I've been distant, distracted. I know I haven't been giving you the attention you deserve. What brought on this revelation?" I don't want to lose you." "What makes you think you're losing me?" She turned to face me, tears in her eyes. "Everything. The way you look at me. The way you don't look at me. The way you've been pulling away." Have I been pulling away? Or have I just stopped chasing? What's the difference? The difference is whether you actually want me there, or whether you just want me to want to be there. She blinked, clearly not understanding. That doesn't make sense, doesn't it? For 5 years, I've been the one initiating everything. Conversations, dates, intimacy. I've been the one working to keep us connected. What happens when I stop doing all the work? We grow apart. Or maybe we discover we were never really together in the first place. Thursday morning brought the real confrontation. She'd clearly spent all night preparing, because she came at me with both barrels. "I know what this is about," she said over breakfast. "Do you? You're having a midlife crisis. Or an affair. Or both." I set down my coffee and looked at her. "Is that what you think? What else am I supposed to think? You've completely changed. You don't talk to me. You don't touch me. You act like I'm some stranger you're forced to live with." Interesting theory. It's not a theory. It's what's happening. And what would you like me to do about it? I want you to talk to me. Really talk to me. Tell me what's wrong so we can fix it. What if what's wrong can't be fixed? Everything can be fixed if 2 people love each other enough. Do 2 people love each other enough? I love you. Do you? Or do you love the security I provide? Lifestyle? The idea of being married? How can you ask me that? Because I've been wondering about it for a while now. When's the last time you were excited to see me? When's the last time you looked forward to spending time with me? When's the last time you were genuinely happy just to be in the same room? She opened her mouth to answer, then closed it. Because we both knew she couldn't. I thought so. I said, standing up. Maybe the problem isn't that I've changed. Maybe the problem is that I finally stopped pretending you hadn't. What's that supposed to mean? I looked at her one last time before heading to the door. It means 5 years is a long time to fake being in love with someone. Must be exhausting. The shock on her face was worth 5 years of lies. Finally, the mask was slipping. Finally, we were getting somewhere close to the truth. How did you? She started, then stopped. How did I what? Nothing. Nothing. But it wasn't nothing. She'd almost revealed herself. Almost admitted what I already knew. The game was almost over, and for the first time in 5 years, I was winning. Friday night, she cracked. I came home to find her sitting at the kitchen table with a bottle of wine, already half empty. Her eyes were red, her makeup smeared. Perfect white facade had finally collapsed. I need to tell you something, she said without looking up. Do you? Yes. About what you said yesterday. About faking being in love. I sat down across from her, waiting. This was it. The moment of truth. I heard you, she whispered. Last Wednesday, when you came home early. Which part? All of it. The phone call with my sister. What I said about us. About faking it. I leaned back in my chair. And you've been punishing me ever since. Have I? Or have I just been returning the favor? Her head snapped up. What do you mean? I mean, if you can fake being satisfied for 5 years, I can fake being happily married for a few weeks. The wine glass trembled in her hands. You've been faking it. Everything. Every smile. Every conversation. Every moment of seeming like I cared. Just like you did. That's not the same thing, isn't it? You faked physical intimacy. I faked emotional intimacy. What's the difference? The difference is I never stopped loving you. Didn't you? Because love involves respect. And you can't respect someone you're lying to every single day. She started crying again, but I didn't move to comfort her. Those days were over. I was trying to protect your feelings, she sobbed. By humiliating me to your sister? By laughing about how pathetic and desperate I am. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? I don't know. I was just venting. For 5 years. You were venting for 5 years. She had no answer for that. Because there was no answer that would make this okay. So what happens now? She asked finally. Now? Now we stop pretending. Both of us. What does that mean? It means I'm done being married to someone who sees me as a joke. I'm done being the husband who tries so hard to please a wife who's been laughing at him behind his back. I wasn't laughing at you. You were laughing at something. My performance, my desperation, my pathetic need for validation. Take your pick. Please. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can work through it. Work through what? 5 years of lies. 5 years of you pretending I was good enough when you clearly thought I was a fool. I don't think you're a fool. Yes, you do. You said so yourself. Men are easy to fool. Just stroke their ego and they eat it up. Pathetic how desperate we are for validation. Each word hit her like a physical blow. She'd forgotten exactly what she'd said, but I remembered every syllable. That was just girl talk. It didn't mean anything. It meant everything. It meant you have no respect for me. It meant our entire marriage has been a performance on your part. That's not true, isn't it? When was the last time you were genuine with me? When was the last time you told me how you really felt about anything? I'm being genuine now. Are you? Or are you just trying to save your comfortable life? She flinched. That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that I've spent 5 years thinking I was making you happy when you were secretly miserable? Is it fair that I've been killing myself trying to be a good husband while you've been treating our marriage like some elaborate joke? I never treated it like a joke. You treated me like one. Same thing. She reached across the table, trying to take my hand. I pulled it away. Please, she whispered. I love you. I really do love you. Do you? Or do you love the idea of not having to start over? Do you love the house, the lifestyle, the security? Do you love me? Or do you love what I provide? I love you. Then why did you lie to me for 5 years? Because I was scared. Of what? Of hurting you. Of losing you. Well, congratulations. You've accomplished both. The finality in my voice seemed to break something in her. She collapsed forward, sobbing into her hands. What can I do? Tell me what I can do to fix this. Nothing. Some things can't be fixed. Please don't say that. It's the truth. And after 5 years of lies, I think we owe each other the truth. The truth is I love you. The truth is you don't respect me. And without respect, love is just pity. I stood up from the table. I'll be staying in the guest room tonight. We'll figure out the logistics tomorrow. Logistics? For the divorce. The word hung in the air like a death sentence. She looked up at me, mascara streaked down her cheeks, wine staining her shirt. You're really going to throw away 5 years of marriage? I'm not throwing it away. You already did that. I'm just acknowledging it's gone. As I walked toward the stairs, she called after me one last time. I can change. I can be better. I turned back. You can be better. Just not with me. Why not? Because every time I look at you now, I'll remember what you really think of me. And that's not something either of us can come back from. That night, lying in the guest room, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Peace. The game was over, and I finally told the truth. The divorce was swift and clean. No drama, no drawn-out battles. Just two people finally being honest about what their marriage had become. She tried one last manipulation, claiming she was pregnant, but I learned to see through her performances. A simple request for a doctor's confirmation ended that charade quickly. 6 months later, I was sitting in my new place, a downtown loft that actually reflected my taste for the first time in years. Clean lines, modern furniture, a photography studio in the spare room. Everything she would have hated. My phone buzzed. A text from her sister. She's miserable. She realizes what she lost. Maybe you could talk to her. I deleted it without responding. Some bridges are meant to stay burned. The photography class had turned into something more. Jessica, the grandmother I'd mentioned, had introduced me to her daughter. A real woman who laughed at my jokes because they were actually funny, not because she was performing the role of appreciative wife. But more importantly, I'd learned to enjoy being alone. Really alone, not just lonely in a crowded marriage. Last Tuesday, I ran into her at the grocery store. She looked older, tired. The confidence she'd worn like armor for 5 years had cracked and fallen away. "You look good," she said, blocking my path near the produce section. "Thanks. Happy. I am. I heard about your photography exhibition. Congratulations." Word travels fast in a small town. My work was getting recognition. Something that never would have happened when I was spending all my energy trying to make a disinterested wife happy. "Thank you. I also heard you're seeing someone." "I am." She flinched like I'd slapped her. "Is it serious?" "It's honest. That's more serious than anything we ever had." "That's not fair, isn't it? She likes me for who I am, not for what I provide. She's genuinely interested in my thoughts, my day, my dreams." Revolutionary concept, right? I was interested in those things. Were you? Or were you just going through the motions? She had no answer, because we both knew the truth. "I made a mistake," she said finally. "You made a choice. For 5 years, you made the same choice every single day. People can change. Some people can, but not with the same person they disrespected for half a decade. So that's it. You're just going to pretend I never existed. I'm going to remember exactly who you were. And I'm going to be grateful I finally learned to respect myself enough to walk away. I loved you." "No, you love the idea of being loved by someone. There's a difference. What about our history? Everything we built together. What did we build? A house full of lies. A marriage based on performance? That's not building, that's pretending." She started crying, right there in the produce section. Other shoppers were starting to stare. "I can't believe you're being so cold. I'm being honest. Something you never learned to do with me. I was trying to protect you. You were protecting yourself from having to deal with the consequences of your dishonesty. Please, can't we at least be friends?" I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I'd once thought I'd spend my life with. The woman who'd faked loving me for 5 years while mocking me to her friends. Friends respect each other. You never respected me. I did. You thought I was pathetic. Desperate. Easy to fool. Those were your words, not mine. I was angry when I said that. For 5 years. You were angry for 5 years. She had nothing left. No defense. No excuse. No way to rewrite history. "I hope you're happy," she said, wiping her eyes. "I am. Genuinely happy. For the first time in years. With her. With myself. She's just a bonus." As I walked away, I heard her call my name one last time. I didn't turn around. Some chapters of your life deserve to end with dignity, and this was mine. That evening, I was editing photos when my girlfriend called. "How was your day?" she asked, and I could hear genuine interest in her voice. "Interesting." Ran into my ex-wife. "How was that? Educational. Want to talk about it?" "Not really. I'd rather hear about your day." And I meant it, because real relationships are built on genuine interest, not performed obligation. 3 weeks later, I received the final divorce papers. At the bottom, she'd written a note. "I'm sorry. I hope you find what you're looking for." I smiled and filed the papers away. I'd already found what I was looking for. I'd found my self-respect. 6 months of faking being married had taught me more about relationships than 5 years of actually being married ever did. Sometimes the best way to save yourself is to stop trying to save someone else. And sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's living well, authentically, with people who see your worth instead of taking it for granted. She'd spent 5 years faking being satisfied with me. I'd spent 6 months faking being satisfied with her. The difference? I knew when to stop.
Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.